for anyone who wants to start a business, do not do what I did. Go for it. Have fun with it. Don't be embarrassed, because it doesn't matter what other people think.
Hey, Matt, good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How was your drive over at St. Mattel Park today?
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. Still riding the high from being on Winnipeg Wilden.
Yeah, we woke up to being on Winnipeg Wilden, which was pretty cool. And I think they have, 5K? No.
11.3.
11.K.
Yeah,
Damn, I'm even more surprised now. The reason this feels somewhat scripted is because we did this before. But anyway, welcome back to the Tool for Eyes podcast, where we document the rise and stardom of Winnipeg's talent and personalities. We're back here at St. Mattel Park for another outdoor one. This time is much nicer outside.
Yeah,
we got a nice
beautiful
fire going, and yeah, we're here. We got a special guest today as well.
Yeah, today our guest is a young entrepreneur who has made a statement with her company Groovy Gal Clothing. So I'd like to welcome the talented Mia Carlin.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. So, your name's Mia Carlin.
Yes.
And for those of you who know, our producer's name is Matt Carlin, who's sitting right across from me now.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have known each other for a while, I assume.
Yep, 16 years.
16 years. How's that like? What's that like knowing the infamous producer?
He's a great brother.
There you go.
Helps me out a lot. He helps out a lot with my business as well, so very nice.
Speaking of
Thanks,
business,
Mia.
Groovy Gal Clothing.
Yes.
That's your business. Talk us through what it is and how you started it.
Groovy Gal Clothing is a business I started when I was about 13 years old. I thrift clothing, I upcycle clothing, and I hand make accessories. When I started, I was very young, didn't really know what I was doing too much. Had a lot of help from my brother, my mom, and my sister. But yeah, I didn't really know too much about what I was doing, so the start was definitely slower, but it grew fast and bigger than I ever imagined, so it's been doing very well.
And so with starting this, was there a reason why you decided to upcycle clothing instead of just selling new clothes or?
Mm-hmm. So growing up, I've always been very environmentally aware. We grew up in a household where we never used plastic bags, always had my Tupperware going to school for my lunches, used metal straws since I was young. And I'm also a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for about 5-6 years now.
Wow.
So I've always been very all about the environment. So when I heard that, I actually know the statistic. Around the average Canadian throws out about 81 pounds of textiles per year, which is a lot.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So when I heard that, I wanted to do something about that because I actually learned that in a school project when I was younger. It was just something that came up and I was like, wow. And it was something that really hit home because I am someone that loves to shop. Fashion has always been a big part of my life. And I was doing this to the environment without really knowing. So then I thought it'd be a great idea to take older clothing and make them fit the new styles and trends. We live in a society of a lot of consumerism, and brands and websites come out with, new collections every 2 weeks and have new styles and trends very often. So I thought it'd be a really good idea to take the older clothes and make them fit the new trends and styles so we don't have to throw out as much textiles.
That's actually amazing. The fact that you realize that how important the environment and all this is at a very young age as well. And, and the fact that you're actually doing something about it. A lot of people will talk about, how important the environment is, and especially now more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
very few people actually go and take that first step.
Yeah, it's definitely came from my family. My mom was very all about the environment. So was my grandma, and now we are all about the environment. And yeah, it's nice to see that we have now come to a point where we are realizing that it's something that we have to work on and better. But I think we have to do more doing and less just talking about it. But we are doing a lot better, which I am very happy about.
Yeah, that's very impressive that you started that at such a young age.
Thank you.
I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
So you started at age 13.
Mm-hmm.
So how, like, I'm just curious, like, a 13-year-old Mia is just somehow, did you have any other brands or anything that you modeled it after, or was it just?
It was just, I don't know if you guys know Internet Girl, but she's a very big inspiration of mine. But she's actually from Canada. I believe she's from Winnipeg, but I'm not totally sure. But
Okay.
she lives in America, has many followers, and now creates clothing. She also started off doing what I do, which is something that inspired me. But yeah, my biggest inspiration was just the environment and helping out the environment, because that is something that I have always, loved and thought very deeply about.
Yeah, for anyone else who is a big, or for anyone else who cares a lot about the environment, I actually was at the grocery store the other day and found these like reusable parchment paper.
Okay.
And yeah, I actually tried it out last night, and it's perfect. Like because like when you're using parchment paper, you just throw it out after. Yeah. So I imagine like you end up throwing out a lot in a year, especially for someone who bakes and cooks a lot. This stuff, like, you just rinse it off, a little scrub with the soap and water. Nice. And it actually just like kept all like the grease and everything on the parchment paper, and none of it actually leaked out onto the pan. So that was kind of huge. That's
good. There's a lot of products out there, and a lot more companies are going towards the, greener route.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very nice to see.
Mm-hmm. Also, like, clothing brands and like are even doing like vegan lines and stuff, which I think is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you started off your company, like, did you have like the support of your friends and all that?
Yeah, I actually, when I first started, I was very embarrassed about it. I didn't tell anyone. I actually made sure that my sister didn't follow me for the first, I don't know how long, so that her followers couldn't see that she was following me and come up in like the suggested. Yeah, I was very, very low key about it. But I actually had my first pop-up shop, and my friend's mom's friend was long line, but had a business kind of like mine, and we are now actually friends. And she found my stand at the pop-up shop and bought things from me, and she just gave me so much support. And then people started following me from my school, and I was very scared and worried, but it has now worked out perfectly. So many people from my school wear my stuff, and it's really nice to see. I like see them on Instagram, and they post my clothing, and they'll like tag my Instagram, and it's really cool to see that they're just trying to, put the word out that I have a business, which is really cool.
Why, if you don't mind me asking, why were you embarrassed when you first started?
I don't know, honestly. Like, looking back, like, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think it was because when I first started, I was very hesitant.
Sure.
Being 13, I didn't know too much what I was doing. I just knew I loved fashion, and I just wanted to go with it. It actually took me, like, I had the idea probably almost a year in advance from before starting my business, and I didn't come up with the name of my business till probably 4 months after that. So I was just very scared that it was gonna flop, I think, because I didn't really know much of what I was doing, and I was very indecisive and didn't know much of anything. So I think I was just very scared of it to flop. And for anyone who wants to start a business, do not do what I did. Go for it, have fun with it, don't be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what other people think. But I have since learned that since I was 13, but I was definitely very scared what other people would think when I was younger.
Right. Yeah, you can't be afraid to fail.
You can't be afraid to fail.
And those are the things that help you too.
There's setbacks all the time, but there's something that push you forward. And I sometimes have sales that I have like a live sale and no one buys anything, and that's okay. And I get feedback, and I learn what to do better next time, and it has since helped me with those. So setbacks are good.
So the name Groovy Gal Clothing, how did that come up, and does that pertain to the certain style that your clothes have?
Actually, yes. I don't know if I knew that back then, but groovy is really 70s, disco and all that, which I love the 70s vibe. It is the clothing, the bell bottoms, the funky patterns, the floral is something I've always loved growing up. I don't think I knew that was 70s, but it just worked out because I loved the word groovy. I thought Groovy Gal worked well. It was actually originally Groovy Girl, but Groovy Girl is a doll brand, I believe. And so I found that out, and I was like, oh, I can't do that.
You had to change it.
I had to change it. But I'm actually glad that Groovy Gal worked out because I love that so much more. And it's actually, Groovy Gal is supposed to be me, which is the Groovy Gal that sells the clothing. Because I have talked about this with some people that they think they're the groovy gals, which I also believe that the people that buy from me, but I don't want it to be only one gender that buys my clothing or anything like that. So I am the Groovy Gal that sells clothing to all the groovy people.
There you go. Mm-hmm. There you go. So when you started your business, what was the first step? You're 13 years old. So what is it? Do you do some research before getting in?
Definitely research was something that I did. I did a lot of talking to other local businesses. The environment of the local businesses in Winnipeg is amazing. So many people were willing to help me and talk to me about what to do. But yeah, that was definitely what was
the first step.
Yeah, definitely the first step was just getting knowledge on how to better my company. I did a lot of posts of inspiration if I didn't have as much inventory yet, but yeah, I did a lot of just posting and showing that I am there, and it's slowly progressed from there.
Yeah, so which ways or how have you been able to grow your company?
Good question. So, that's a good one. So a really good way to grow your business that has really helped me are giveaways. I know you guys have done a giveaway. Yep. And it has helped, and I've said this to people before. Not only does it help you, but you're giving back to the people that support you, which is amazing because, you just want to show how much that they mean to you, which is immensely. But a good way is giveaways, and even better is what we do is I get together with a bunch of local businesses, and we all collaborate and put something in from our business, if it's food or, clothing or jewelry, and we all put it in a giveaway together. And it's really nice because my followers now see all of their goods, and all of their followers see my inventory, and it's really nice. It's a big way to get more buzz around your business. Another way is pop-up shops, which I used to do a lot of. I used to do about 2 to 3 a year before COVID happened. But those are really nice because, again, it's just you getting with multiple people from around Winnipeg and selling what you make or, what you're selling. And it's just really nice to get with a bunch of people. Sometimes we do giveaways for the pop-up shops, which is really nice. So we do enter this giveaway and you'll get 50% off or $50 off of the stands at the pop-up shop, which is really nice. But I think a big way is definitely getting together with other local businesses and helping each other out.
And you got to get your eyes right. You got to get people to see your
that's a big thing, is just getting yourself out there, which is definitely something that's why it took me so long to kind of get where I was, because I wanted to shelter my business for so long because I was really nervous. But it really is, you just want to get yourself out there. You want to get the views, just to get your information or inventory or clothing or whatever you're selling or wanting other people to see it, which is a very big part.
And especially if you provide the value that you are, and you have a message behind what you're doing.
I think that's very important.
So walk us through the process, right? So you go to a thrift store, you get a piece of clothing. So from start to finish until someone buys it, what does that look like?
So there's actually a lot of different things you can do. With upcycling, that's one of my favorite parts about it, is just how big the bubble is, that you can just do so many things. So one thing that I love to do is get jeans from the thrift store, and I love either painting them or taking old scrap fabrics that I have and sewing designs on jeans. That's one of my favorite things to do. So what that would look like is I'd go to the thrift store, I'd get a pair of jeans. And then I have a bunch of scrap fabrics that I've had since I started. And then I come home and I get my sewing machine out, and I sometimes hand sew them, but sometimes I do use the sewing machine, and then I sew those all up. And then what I do is, before COVID, I had models that would come over and, take pictures of them wearing it. But currently it has been me, my mom, my sister, and my brother's girlfriend that has been modeling. So I take pictures of it. I get the whole setup going with the backdrop and the ring light, and I take the pictures, and then I upload the pictures to the Instagram, and then someone DMs me asking to buy it. I then mark it as sold, and then I package it up, and then I either, depending on where they live, I either drop it off or they pick it up or I deliver it. And that's pretty much the process, but I love the process. That's my favorite part.
And do you ever think about hiring someone eventually, and because you're doing all this yourself, I assume, so to either upscale or even get bigger, is that something in mind?
Definitely one day I hope to get help. I do have a lot of help from my family.
Sure.
They do help me a lot with ideas, and they help model, and they even, my sister does some editing for my pictures. Sure. So I have a lot of help with my family, but because of COVID right now, I'm going to stay just myself. But hopefully one day I do want a team. That'd be really helpful. But as of right now, that is definitely something in the future. But that would be amazing. I would love to have a team, all loving the same thing, having the same passion would be really nice.
Was there anything before COVID that really made you question that if I really wanted to do this, or certain setbacks that weren't the best?
I wouldn't say any major ones. A lot of this is just me having fun. I'm not one to if I don't get a certain amount of sales or something, I'm not one to just be oh, this sucks, this is not good. I love doing this. I don't ever see myself not doing it. I as I said, I love fashion. I'm a very creative person, and this is kind of my creative outlet. So, I love doing this. There's not really been any setbacks or anything. It's definitely, tough to see, like, if you put so much work into something and it doesn't sell, or, you don't get the best feedback from it, but it's something that I loved, and it's something that I loved creating and making. So I don't think there's anything, wrong, or, definitely like not a setback. It's just didn't get the feedback that I wanted, but that's okay. It's just,
you live, you learn.
Yeah, you live and you learn. You do what you love, and so I think just COVID would be the only setback I really had.
And what does your average day look like? So you're in school, right? Or
Yeah.
online school? Or...
I do fully online.
Yeah.
So I do, Mom, if you're watching, I did not say this, but I do prioritize Groovy Gal over my schoolwork, which is not the best. But I usually, what, Matt? You didn't hear that. I definitely do. Like, when I wake up, I'm not one to be like, yeah, let's do this homework. I'm like, yeah, let's sew these jeans, and yeah, let's, make this jewelry. Sometimes I go to bed making jewelry and wake up with, like, the supplies still in my bed, and then I'll just make jewelry when I wake up. But yeah, I definitely do Groovy Gal more than I do my schoolwork, but I try to, manage it well. Like I said, I'm a very creative person, so sitting down and doing my homework is not my favorite thing. Definitely something you just have to do. But I do my homework I actually have a room with all, like, my inventory and my stuff. So I do my homework in there, so every time I just want, like, a break or anything, I just take a step back and start doing my stuff.
That's distracting.
Yeah, Matt, you did not hear this, but
they're gonna have a talk when they get home.
Yeah, the drive home's gonna be tough. But yeah, I definitely try to, equal it out, but I do say that I would work on Groovy Gal before I work on my school.
Because that's your passion. You love doing that, right?
Yeah, it's something I love, and it's something I see myself doing in the future. I don't see myself, being a doctor or scientist, which is, it definitely, everyone do your schoolwork.
Yeah.
But, this is something that I think will, take me far, and I will be doing the rest of my life, so it is very important to me.
And it's great that you found your passion so early on, right?
Yeah, I'm a very, like I said, like, I'm not one to, sit down and do my schoolwork. I'm someone that, like, needs to be creative. I love making clothing. I also sing. I do dance. I do a lot of creative things, and I am so happy I found all these things so early, because they just, especially with COVID, like, they are the only things, and my family, getting me through. But yeah.
Yeah, and so do you have any tips for any people who are wanting to start a small business, or specifically a clothing brand?
Even a clothing, like, I'm sure, like, clothing is hard, right?
Yeah.
Clothing's not that easy as...
Yeah, definitely. I always say this, just have fun and be yourself with it. Don't be a face of just a business, be yourself too. Like, I do a lot of polls on my Instagram stories and questions, and I interact with my followers. So I think a lot of it is just, being you. I post pictures of myself so they, when they buy from me, they can, know how I look, and, just makes it more personal. But yeah, I definitely think having your own taste and your touch too. I know a lot of making clothing is, you always want to keep up with the trends and the styles and doing your research. And I think that's very important, but also do keep your style and your touch in it, because that's what's going to make it different than everyone else's. I love following people that have, like, crazy styles, and I'm like, wow, I think that's really cool, but I think I would make this look different because I think that is what I like. So I think definitely just doing what you think is best is important, because, like I said, it's going to make you stand out from everyone else.
Do you see yourself having a clothing line, and other than like thrifting and just Groovy Gal Clothing line in the future?
Yeah, hopefully one day. I do still want to keep it very environmentally aware. I do want to keep it good for the environment. So hopefully like some biodegradable fabrics and stuff like that. But I do hope that one day I can, venture out a little bit from thrifted clothing. Yeah, I think that would be really cool. But I do want to stick with my roots and my reasonings for why I started this, and that is the environment. So yeah, hopefully that will one day come about.
Well,
that's awesome.
I think that wraps it up.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
If you haven't already, you probably hit the subscribe button. That'll help us out a little bit.
Subscribe to them, please. I love their YouTube videos.
Appreciate it. And also check out Mia and her Groovy Gal Clothing, all linked in the description below.
Thank you.
We're on UMFM Radio every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. and we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts every Tuesday. So go check it out. Go check us out there. Other than that, until next time. Peace, guys.